Reading over every book that I could find in education to be able to tell you that pay for performance is the way to go. I find no evidence that pay for performance works. And I also know that the superintendents were told if that's not what you're interested in, then you don't need to apply. We talked to several states. We are an affiliate of the NEA, and the states that have not signed on, the reason they didn't sign on was because of that 50%. 50%, if you don't know, is a failing score, no matter which end you're talking about. What you also need to realize is we don't believe that you need to evaluate your educators on a test score. A test score has been used to say that our public schools are failing. And now you want to penalize teachers, educators, principals on a test score. Every book that I've read speaks of multiple measures. Multiple measures. You cannot tell everything about a child from one standardized test score. One teacher said, and I want you to know this is very important that you know, because I like the dialogue. I like the superintendent. He's a true fox. He's connived. He's smart, he's arrogant, he's everything he needs to be. And he and I agree we've been called many names and many things. I've been cartooned. I've been told, do not speak unless you can speak positively. And I've been told that if they could take a picture of me and I'm in a group and you can't find me, there's a problem. And if the media interviews me and you never see me on television, there's a problem. So I know I represent the minority. So I need you to know that. I need you to know I've been put through enough as the leader of 20,000 men and women that work in your trenches every day. And no, they don't have to tell the world what's going on. But through social media, and my communications director is right here, the Blackberries, the Facebook, the emails, and they may not be our members sometimes. They don't want to be known as someone who's speaking out sometimes. Some of them don't believe that education has anything to do with politics. I beg to differ. So very well. What you must understand is they all believe and they all know that if you do that to them, some of them even say they may have to leave teaching, which is their passion. If you want to evaluate them on one test score, why do everything else that they do for our children? Why do all the other things? Why try to get them to be creative? Why do science projects, social studies projects? Why do all of the other little clubs and the things that they do? Why work 24/7? If you're going to penalize them because of one test. Let me go back to some of the things I want to tell you about. This is Keys to Effective Schools. NEA puts out several books. They buy the best of programs. We're 3.2 million members. Every educator cannot agree on the same thing at the same time. But we have a democratic convention where we make decisions and put out resolutions, and we buy and we write the best of everything. The best of the thinkers put this together. And they came out with the keys to an effective school. And they're great. I challenge you to read it. And look at all the other things that they suggest to you to improve a school. This one says 10 strategies to save our schools. Not with our kids, you don't. A parent whose children went to public school and did very well was so happy with what had transpired that when she realized that her teenager is looking at standardized tests, teachers teaching to test, and all the other things that this child is missing that our other children received before this decade of reform. And you know they come every 10 years, every year. Every 10 years or so, the teachers say, you know, we got to jump through some more hoops. And we normally do. We're not afraid of testing. We're not afraid of any of it. But we're afraid of the way you are thinking. Some of these states, I realize you don't care about what the other states are doing, but some of them, their plan is about professional development all the way around. Professional development for those teachers and educators and principals to have better services for their children, to get the tools that's needed to work with the children. I can go on and on, but it's about spending that money to make a difference for those educators who are in retreat. It's not about penalizing them. If you look at this, one of the things she said, go back to No Child Left Behind. I feel like, yes, do I have a minute? Okay, I will come to a closure. What I need you to understand is when they say no child vomits on a test, somebody's afraid that if this happens, and it does, that somebody's going to retrieve that test out of the trash can so that they could impart that information. When it says no child labeled for life, when you start testing our children and telling them they are failing these standardized tests year after year after year, yes, by the time they get to high school, they are no longer interested because it's not relevant and we haven't done anything to make it relevant. And then here you have a career diploma plan, and you keep circumventing that new law. As I bring it to a closure, I want to tell you so much. But what I really need you to know is for all of the educators that have let me know, and not one of them has said to me, or I think that R2T is the best thing going. Not one of them has said that. But as Paul will tell you, there are too many programs and too many services that the NEA can offer this body. There are too many things that we could do for you that we can bring to the table. I urge you to take a look at what you have here, rather than penalizing the educators that are working so hard. Go to the kind of thing that will give them the professional development they need to work with all those different minds, different cultures, different ethnicities, different everything. Louisiana is so diverse. You dare not make a decision like that about your educators from one child, from children's test scores. They are more than a test score, and your teachers deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guys.